This is Ludmia, aka Mia, from Heart Mind Equation. This is part 2 of 3 podcasts called Learning Self-Love. In my last podcast, I've shared with you how I was learning to increase my self-love. Now, I'm just going to make a summary of how we can all apply 10 relational needs to ourselves. These 10 relational needs were first used to explain basic elements of a healthy relationship between two people. But those elements can also be used to explain the relationship we can have with ourselves in order to increase our self-love. Of course, our relationships to other people are important, but relationships to thyself is even more important, as it is the barometer of how functional our relationships to others can be. Let me tell you about the 10 relational needs, not necessarily in order of priority. So we have 1, acceptance, 2, affection, 3, appreciation, 4, attention, 5, approval, 6, comfort, 7, encouragement, 8, respect, 9, security, and 10, support. So let's start with an brief explanation of all of them and how we can apply it to thyself. First, we have acceptance. So we demonstrate acceptance towards ourselves when, despite of our imperfection or aspects of ourselves we would prefer not to have, we get to live with those aspects of ourselves without trying desperately to change them. For example, we wish to have a particular physical appearance, prefer to have that type of hair or body shape, etc. If it is impossible to change them, we can accept them and make the best of what we can with them. Acceptance also includes self-knowledge, where we have a sense of identity. If knowledge is power, knowing thyself is self-empowerment. Number 2, we have affection. To manifest affection to ourselves, it could be, for example, to take some quality time alone where we can pamper ourselves. I know I like to go to the mall by myself and do some window shopping. It relaxes me. I have a friend. She likes having a day off in the middle of the week and stay home alone. When the kids are in school, the husband is at work, she says enjoying that time to relax, read, meditate, do some online shopping, etc. Basically, it's taking quality time alone with ourselves. Number 3, we have appreciation. To express or verbalize compliments to ourselves. That is an example of appreciation. To write down every day one or several things we're proud of ourselves for, and especially why we're proud of ourselves for it. We need to acknowledge every time we cross something on our to-do list, or better yet, our to-be list, as something that we appreciate from us. To share with ourselves all of this time that we are grateful about our life. Just to start a gratitude journal also help to stay grounded with our reality. It prevents us to become bitter, and it breaks down the negative thought loops we can have about ourselves. Number 4, there is approval. We show approval to thyself when we are comfortable with who we are, when we are congruent to ourselves, not pretending to be a certain way, no social mask, no shame, no guilt, no remorses or regrets about who we are. We should never have to apologize for who we fundamentally are. Self-approval is based on personal integrity. Number 5, we have attention. So we pay attention to ourselves when we take into consideration the emotions we feel about a situation, about also an event or a person. When we're not in deliberate denial about what we feel. So no repression, no suppression. We're really in contact with all the emotions that we feel. We need to pay attention to our body as well, to our feelings as well. Example, we should listen to it, to our body that is, when it tells us that we're too tired to do a certain task or chore. And most of all, we also pay attention to ourselves when we listen to our intuitions, our gut feelings, that is. We are to consider our insight, INSIGHT, before we consider our eyesight. Number 6, comfort. This is when we find ways to soothe our painful emotion when going through a difficult situation. We could use internal dialogue telling us that it's going to be okay. We can pray, we can meditate, or we can confide in someone. Here again, using different distractions to soothe thyself, it's okay. But as long as we can address the situation eventually, not to use the distractions to avoid an unfortunate situation. Running away from that situation can only make it more present. Someone said, until you handle it with grace, it will always be in your face. Number 7, encouragement. We all have different ways to encourage ourselves when we are lacking drive or when our enthusiasm decreases. For me, I keep myself motivated by some pep talk I give myself, or sometimes I listen to motivational speakers, or I can start my days by reading an inspirational quote as well. I also surround myself with people that believe in me, and I celebrate every little victory instead of looking how far we are to reach a certain goal. We should look back to see how far we have come. There is always a first step to every path and to every staircase. Number 8, security. So it is important for me to know how I am myself's best friend. I have learned that I have to take care of myself first before taking care of others. Something I was not doing before. So basically, we trust ourselves more when we are consistent in our action, when we keep our promises to ourselves, and when we would develop good habits. It can go from taking care of our body, eating well, exercising, or to our mental state, example, avoiding toxic people or toxic environments. Number 9, respect. We need to honor who we are by not putting ourselves down every chance we get, by being assertive, by not self-sabotaging, by giving ourselves realistic goals, being responsible for our action. No victim mode. When we play the victim, we give away our power to change or influence our situation. We need to say what we mean and mean what we say. That's a way to be congruent with ourselves without having to compromise our integrity. And number 10, it is support. Number 10 is simply by showing support to ourselves, we get to sustain all the 9 previous concepts. So it is the consistency of applying all of them that we can really say that we are being supportive to ourselves. So if my podcast resonates with you, give me a thumbs up or leave me a comment below or share it with someone. Get notification for part 3 of my Learning Self-Love podcast series. This is Mia, and thank you for tuning into my channel, Heart Mind Equation, where you unlock your hidden potentials.